going to do some trig. Now, these are trig equations. And this one says 2 sine squared x plus 3 cos x equals 0. And we've got to get it all into cos's. So we're going to use sine squared x plus cos squared x equals 1. And that means that sine squared x equals 1 minus cos squared x, because I'm going to take that away. Then I'm going to put that into this. So it's 2, 1 minus cos squared x plus 3 cos x equals 0. And that leaves us with 2 minus 2 cos squared x plus 3 cos x equals 0. And I'm going to make this positive, so it's going to be 2 cos squared x minus 3 cos x minus 2 equals 0. And now we know what these things are. A equals 2, B equals minus 3, and C equals minus 2. So now we've got to solve this equation. So we're going to do this. So we're going to solve this equation by making this y. So we're going to say 2y squared plus 3y. Oh no. Hence, solve the equation. Let's just use the things that we've actually got. That's why we do the first bit. So now let's put into this, we'll substitute cos squared for y. So we'll say 2y squared minus 3y minus 2 equals 0. And now we'll solve it using the fact that minus 4 and minus 3. So that's, let's just go 2y squared minus 4y plus y plus 2 minus 2 equals 0. And that means we have 2y, y minus 2, and plus 1, y minus 2. So that's 2y plus 1 and y minus 2. Therefore, y equals 1 over 2 minus 1 over 2, and y equals 2 if we solve to 0. And now our issue is that if we make it cos of x equals minus 2, minus a half, and cos of x equals 2, we know that one doesn't work because it only goes between 1 and minus 1. So that means we know that cos of x equals minus a half. Now, what do we do next? We need to now check. Let's draw a little graph between 1 minus 1, and cos starts here, so 90, and let's make that 180. That is not very well drawn. Let's make that 90, let's make that minus 90, let's make that 0, and let's make that minus 180. So we know that is what cos looks like. This is what minus 90 looks like. And we are now going to go minus a half. So minus a half is there. And it will go to there, and it will go to there. So if we ask ourselves the question, I know that cos of a half, oddly, so cos of a half, cos of to the minus 1 of a half equals 60, I think. So therefore, I'm pretty sure that that would be 120. Let's just see. Cos to the minus 1 of sugar. So that would be, cos of minus 0.5 equals 120. That isn't quite well drawn, but anyway, that goes up to 120. So that means it's also minus 120. And so the answer is that if we solve the equation, then x equals 120 and minus 120 between those values. Right. Now we're trying to solve this equation. So 2 of sine theta equals 3 cos theta. So let's muck about with this. So we know that if we divide through by cos theta, so 2 sine theta divided by cos theta equals 3, and then sine theta over cos theta will equal 3 over 2, and we know that sine theta over cos theta equals tan theta, so tan theta equals 3 over 2. So now let's find out what the inverse of tan theta equals. I'm just going to call it 1.5 because I am... so tan theta equals... So theta equals 56.3. No, I'm going to get answers to 1 decimal place. So now, if we look at our tan, 90 minus 9. Oh no, fortunately I don't need to go into the minuses. So that's 90. This is 180, so that goes through there. And this is 270, and that goes through there. So we know that this goes like that. And we know that 56.3 is, I don't know, there-ish. Okay, so now we know, I'm just going to do the bits that go over there. So it would be 180 plus 56.3, and that would give us our next one. That's 236.3. 236.3. Do we think there's another one? If we added another 180 on, yeah, it's 416, which is beyond this point, so we don't need to do that. Now I'm going to do, shall I do one more? Okay, show that, oh, this is a proof. 1 minus cos squared x over tan squared x equals this. So we're going to start off with left-hand side. So left-hand side, 1 minus cos squared x is from this sine squared x plus cos squared x equals 1. So if we take away that, we know that on our left-hand side, we could start with sine squared x over tan squared x. So we've got that. Now, what we can do with tan squared x is we can say that sine squared x over cos squared x is the same thing, because tan squared x equals that. So we're now going to divide sine squared x by sine squared x over cos squared x. And that looks complicated, it's not particularly, but we're going to now do, this is equals, that's equals, but like super equals. And then we're going to do sine squared x times cos squared x over sine squared x. And this gives us, we can cross these out, and that just gives us cos squared x. So that is the right-hand side, QED. And that's all I'm going to do on that.